Good morning and welcome in. Welcome in, everyone. Unity Church of Downriver. This is Reverend Dr. Stephen J. Kosmyna. Happy to be with you again and really looking forward to next month, when I should say, I will be there in person with you. So looking forward to that. And what we'll probably do is I'll take this talk today even deeper when I visit with you next month. We're looking at the power. I've been going through the powers, except last month we talked about moments with Myrtle and sharing the wisdom of Myrtle Fillmore with that little booklet I sent out. Today we're back on track with our powers, and the power that we talk about in the month of August is will. So that's the direction we're going with today. And will for me has always been one of those powers I tiptoed around a little bit because will is kind of abstract in my mind anyway. It has so many different definitions when we look at the power of will. It's one of those superpowers though too, because it's a mental faculty and it's also a spiritual power, but it's not something that we can put together and wrap up nice with a little bow on top like love, which is easy to talk about and identify with, or wisdom, something like that. Will is like, where do we really go with this? So hopefully I'm at a place now in consciousness where I can talk about this and it'll make a little bit more sense for all of us. So today I'm inviting you into a moment of deep reflection, really deep reflection, and just moving within and thinking about the power of will a little bit. And knowing that when we talk about will, we have to really go back of it a little bit because will is neutral. We'll talk about that in a little bit, just a few minutes. But I'm titled this message today, Be, right? Be. Choosing to align with the divine I am through the power of will. And will could really be said, one of the things we could say about will, it's our power to focus. And we're going to talk about focusing on the divine identity we are in our divine nature. The word be is simple, yet it carries infinite depth. To be is to exist, to embody, to express your divine nature without resistance. And, I love words. I love to look up words. I love the origins of words. When we talk about the word be, it's another one of those that just shows up everywhere so often. Just think about that for a minute. Be, become, believe, belief. And belief is one thing that I talk a lot about, belief in all the work that I do, not just as a minister and in messages that I deliver, but also in coaching and consulting and leadership development. But the word belief, I looked at that and I thought, I wonder what the origin of this is. Well, I found that really belief can be two words, and this has nothing to do with the origin. But I thought it was interesting that we have be, be, and leaf, lief, which is a word in and of itself. And leaf means gladly, willingly. So I just thought that was interesting to throw that in there because we're talking about everything that we have to consider when we're talking about the power of will. And and when we do that, we're talking about be and I am, and we're talking about choice. Charles Fillmore described the will as the executive faculty of the mind, the determining factor that shapes our experience. The will, he said, is the avenue through which the I am expresses its potentiality. What you choose to will or decree comes to pass. So it's really where we're focusing, right? I will go in that direction. So this morning we're going to explore a couple different points. We're going to explore the nature of will and the power of choice, being versus doing. We have to look at order here, the order of creation. We so often get this wrong when we come from our human experience. Number three, aligning with the divine I am. That's where we want our will to be. And choosing to live in present moment awareness. And we'll anchor into these truths with practical steps you can take to align with the power of will in your daily life, because it's always my intention, as I say every month, to give you something that works for you. How can you apply it? How can you take action in your own life? So first up, let's look at the nature of will and the power of choice. Again, Charles Fillmore reminds us what man wills or decrees comes to pass in his or her experience. So the will isn't just another mental faculty, it is the gatekeeper. And I found this very easy for me when I looked at it as the gatekeeper of our thoughts. I just think of it as a gatekeeper, the director of our actions. Go this way, don't go this way. Go this way, don't go this way. And really the shaper of our character. All thoughts that pass through your consciousness meet your will at the gate. It decides what enters and what is acted upon. Now, will is neutral. It can align with divine wisdom or become an adversary when it's driven by personal ego. When it adheres to wisdom, it creates harmony and peace. And when it strays, it becomes stubborn, resistant, and disconnected. And I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because so often we look at will. Oh, he's probably going to talk about, is it the will of God, or are we going to do it in the will of me? Well, the will of God is our will. There's really no separation except when the will, our own will, is driven by ego or by something that may harm, right, in thought, word, or action. Because the will of God is always for our good, for a greater expression of what God is in us, as us, and through us. We are God pressing out into visibility to experience life and living and to explore what it is that would satisfy any longing and discontent that we might have. We'll talk about more in the next talk. But think about this for right now. Let's look at the sum total of our thoughts. If you think about this, your life today, right now, in this moment today, is the sum total of choices made yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. Each moment offers a new choice, a new decree, a new intention. The question is, what are you choosing to be? See, we're choosing to be. I will be this. This is really important. So hang on to that for just a moment. A modern story illustrates this. A leader of a tech startup once faced a sudden failure in the business that threatened everything. Instead of reacting in fear, she paused, aligned with her values, and chose to be calm and be creative. Be calm and be creative. This single choice allowed her to pivot, to rebuild, and eventually succeed beyond her original vision. The outer conditions changed because her inner choice changed first. This is the power of will when it aligns with spirit, when it aligns with our divine identity, rooted and grounded in our divine nature. And I can always point back to unity principles. Our essence is of God, therefore we are inherently good. This God essence called the Christ is called the Christ. It was fully expressed in Jesus, and we're looking to be that and let it fully express in us. All right, number two, let's look at being versus doing, the order of creation. So often we think we must do to have, and then we can finally be. We get it all wrong. It's the world's formula, right? Do, have, be. Work harder, achieve more, then you can be happy. When I have this, then I'll be happy. When I have this, then I can do the things that I want to do and be happier, right? But metaphysical truth flips this order. Order is heaven's first law. We have to get this right. Be, do, have. That's the order of creation. When you choose to be aligned with your divine nature, when you're aware of your divine identity, when we line up with principle, especially our second principle here in unity, when you claim peace, when you claim joy, when you claim abundance and love as your state of being, you naturally do the things that flow from that state. And then you have the experiences that reflect it. Your power of will determines which formula you live by. Will you keep striving to do more so you can someday be happy? Someday, that's what I'll be. Or will you be happy now and allow your actions and experiences to align? They will, but it's a choice. We have to recognize it's a choice. What we are being, we have to be it first. We have to move into the state. You embody the vibration of what you desire now. You have to embody it. You have to move into it. All right, number 3, aligning, and we'll go deeper into these, especially when I'm there. Aligning with the divine I am. Point 3 here. The divine I am, as I mentioned earlier, is the presence of God within you. Your spiritual identity, the divine I am. We affirm it, we sing about it. When your will aligns with this truth, you step into a life of harmony and power. Charles Fillmore said that when man wills to do the will of God, he exercises his individual will in wisdom, love, and understanding, building spiritual character, which is what we want to do. This is not about surrendering your individuality or totally abandoning your ego. It's about expressing you, what you are, your true divine identity, your divine I am in its highest form, being the light, being the truth, being God in you expressing. Consider the biblical story of Jesus in Gethsemane, faced with immense suffering. Remember, he went to the garden to pray, and he's faced with immense suffering. And he said, not my will, but thine be done. This was not passive resignation. It was a powerful alignment with divine purpose. In that alignment, he transcended fear and fulfilled his mission. We can look at that as the me, or the ego wants to, no, that's not what I want. But Jesus showed us. He modeled and demonstrated. That's why we call Jesus our master teacher and way shower. He stayed in alignment with his mission and his divine nature and divine identity. When we say yes to the divine will, we choose to be who we truly are. Every choice then becomes an act of creation. And remember, it's meeting this gatekeeper. Okay? So we're going to look at that here in my 4th point today, choosing to live in present moment awareness. We don't want to walk around as unconscious competence, just getting by in life and experiencing a series of reactions, being that steel ball in the pinball machine, just bouncing after bumper, a series of reactions in our lives just to get by. Excuse me. The power of will operates in the present. The past is memory. The future is imagination. And we build out in imagination what we want the future to look like. But really, the only creative point, even though we use the imagination to be creative, to design, the only real creative point is now. Fillmore noted that persistence is essential to demonstration, to what's showing up. The will, and here's where focus really comes in, the will must resolutely lay hold of the word of truth until it becomes flesh. That means whatever the vision is, whatever you intend to be, to move into that beingness, that divine nature, that divine identity, you have to hold on to it. And that's where will works with the other powers, spiritual powers we talk about, having that firm grip through the power, spiritual power of strength and not letting go. That means choosing moment by moment to stay present, to affirm the good here and now. We spend too much time in the past. We can move into that state of depression for days gone by, right? We spend too much time in the future. We can move into that state of anxiety and worry and doubt and fear. We have to stay fully present in the moment, embracing our divine nature. So many of us get trapped in regrets of those past, or things that happened in the past and what we did or didn't do, or fears of the future. Think about worry. Worry is really a prayer. If thoughts are prayers, like we sing about, worry is really praying for something we don't want to happen to come true in our experience. Present moment awareness, it shifts everything. It shifts all that. When you see only good, only God, in the now, in this present moment of now, you align with your divine essence. So here's a practical exercise for you. Whenever you feel anxious, say to yourself, I choose to be still. I choose to be aligned with the divine I am. Say that again with me. I choose to be still. I choose to be aligned with the divine I am. And then take 3 deep breaths and center into this truth. You'll feel your energy shift. You really will. Hopefully you felt it shift just now. So here's some practical applications, and then I'll give you some a little bit of work we can do, some filters we can run through our lives. We have so many thoughts, and they're all approaching this gatekeeper, right? You've heard me say in the past, we have 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day. And this gatekeeper, it'll let them through or it'll keep them out, depending on what is our will, the direction that we give to the gatekeeper, right? So we have to decide. We have to decide, what do we want to be? Do we want to be aligned with our divine identity and our divine nature? So here's some practical application, how to use your power of will. Pause and choose consciously, right? Before reacting, ask, who am I choosing to be right now? Who am I choosing to be right now? What am I choosing to be right now? Am I choosing to be love? Am I choosing to be in alignment with the Christ of God I am? Pause and choose consciously. Number 2 is support for the first one. Affirm your divine identity. Speak words like, I am aligned with the divine I am. I am peace. I am love. I am whole. See, this is bringing it all into the present moment. I am aligned with the divine I am. I am peace. I am love. I am whole. Number 3, persistent truth. We just don't do this one time and say we're all set. Hopefully you'll come back and listen to this message today over and over and over again. And I invite you every Sunday, at least when I'm speaking, but every Sunday you should have a notebook and make some notes. But number 3 is persistent truth. Keep holding to the highest thought, even when appearances challenge you. Because 40 to 60,000, that's a lot of thoughts every day, isn't it? But we want to hold on to the highest ones. We don't want to develop and go with that train of thought, engaging it when it's not filled with anything we desire to experience in our lives. We have to hold to the highest thought. And number 4 is to always strive to live from the inside out, against all appearances. Let your beingness shape your doing, and your doing shape your having. Sorry if we're hearing a little background noise. I thought I shut everything down here, but I got some pinging going on. So to set spiritual will in motion, press its button, so to speak, we have a little bit of work to do here. And everything I shared today calls us really to separate ego's will, or the will of the me, and establish the will of the I am. That's really what I'm talking about here today. We make our choice from that place where we're aligned with our divinity. And through prayer, meditation, discernment, and seeking, looking to wisdom, inspiration, guidance, and intuition, we find our answers. We find our purpose, our calling, and what is ours to do, the direction to go in. And we allow will to be that gatekeeper in a positive way. We identify the choice that will show us those desires, those thoughts that, once fulfilled, move us deeper into the realization of heaven on earth. So we commit to the path. Let us all commit to the path. Stay on the path, awake and aware, fully present, mindful and watchful for the gentle nudges of spirit, as all that God is works to support us along our way for this, for the desires of our heart, for something better. Some of the filters you can use before I wrap this up here today: we can affirm, I am the presence of God. Am I the presence of God in this? It's a good filter to run your experience through, to run your thoughts through. I am the presence of God. Affirm it over and over and over again. Am I the presence of God in this? I am the presence of love. Am I the presence of love in this? I am the presence of wisdom. Am I using right judgment, seeking the will of the I am presence and divine wisdom's way? Stubbornly, we often hang on to ego's will, chasing ego's prize. Yet that's not always what will truly satisfy the desires of our soul. So let me just leave you with this. It's not about becoming someone else. We don't want to become somewhere else. Everyone else is already taken. It's about remembering who you already are. Your will is the doorway. Use it wisely. Choose to be aligned with the divine I am, and watch how your life transforms. Today, choose to be peace. Choose to be love. Choose to be abundance. We do that. For in the choice to be, everything else follows. I'm really excited to talk about this power of will and go deeper, because this part of it, what I shared today, is really the seeking first the kingdom part. And now we can learn and move into, what about what I want to do with my life and the experiences I want to have? And that's what we'll do and talk about and speak about and be about when I join you next month. For right now, that's going to do it for today. I thank you for looking in. I thank you for being here. So keep on coming back, and apply this and take action in your life. This is Reverend Dr. Stephen J. 𝗓𝗵. God bless you.